Hi, everyone. Welcome to the first episode of Black and Bold Wrestling Podcast. My name's MJ, and I'm one of the co-hosts today.
Sorry. Okay. My name's Mia, and I am your other co-host. Usually there is three of us, but today it's just going to be the two of us. And today we have a very special guest, someone we're very excited to have. Big Game Leroy. How
Hey,
are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Like I said, just hanging out, hanging around. Just landed back in New York, enjoying the nice, brisk, cold weather again.
The nice Brooklyn weather.
Yeah, of course, of course. It's a little less cold than Indianapolis, so
It's actually shocking. Okay. So we have some fun icebreaker questions for you.
Ah, I see what you did there. I see what you did there.
Okay. So what is your favorite song right now?
My favorite song right now. Oh, I don't know. Okay, honestly, the Encanto songs are like really, really like stuck in my head. I think the Maribel family, the first one is really probably my favorite song right now. It's a bop.
MJ, didn't you just watch that?
Yes, I just watched that movie. It made me
It's
cry.
it's great, isn't it?
Yes, it's so good.
I
So
mean, the
good.
Bruno song is like it's a little overplayed right now for me.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
is good too.
I
It's a
will
good
say
movie.
I'm lacking on those movies. Like I haven't seen like Coco. I haven't seen.
You
What? You
have
never
to.
seen Coco? Like that's like 4 years old. Like,
I
come
know.
on now.
I know. I'm
It's on
sorry.
Netflix. It's on Disney Plus. Well, it's on Disney Plus, I
I
guess
just
now.
I don't have a I don't know. Don't I don't have an urge to watch them for some reason. But
They're,
apparently
they're
they're really good.
great.
So
You're missing out.
okay. What's the last movie you watched?
Um, I I think technically I rewatched Spider-Man, No Way Home. So
Great
that
choice.
technically that because I rewatched it not too long ago.
Damn, I haven't seen that one either.
Wait, what? Okay, come on now. Now
So
you just now you
I
just
I
you
want
dragged it.
to. I want to see that and Scream, but
Why
I
did this me?
you know
Yeah.
I haven't. I'm busy.
Wow, I know you grinding. I feel you. I feel you.
I'm trying. Okay, MJ, next question. Did she freeze? She's frozen.
Oh no.
I don't know. Should I ask? Are you there?
Oh man, the technical difficulties. I'm glad it's not me,
I thought it
for
was
one.
gonna be me.
I'm always
Okay.
anxious with you. Always.
Well, maybe she'll come back.
Oh, oh,
I'll just ask the next question then.
yeah,
So,
go for it. Go.
what's your favorite TV show?
We talking all time or just like what I like watching right now?
Both.
All time is super, super hard. It really depends on the mood. I've really, really been like messing around with King of the Hill lately, to be honest. Like that's been my comfort show for some reason. Even though as a kid I didn't really like it like that, but I don't know. It's been hitting. Rick and Morty's cool. Steven Universe is like pretty high up there for me. I love Steven Universe. I think I've made this very clear on a lot of things I post and stuff. But so yes, and Adventure Time, definitely Adventure Time is also high up there. I actually cried when the last episode aired, so it's real.
Another thing I haven't watched.
Come on, it was out for like a whole decade. Come on now.
I just like okay. Recently, I haven't watched TV. Like I haven't had a TV for like 4 years.
Okay, but you got a smartphone. Like
Yeah,
that doesn't even work no more. We're millennials and Gen Zers. We all have like apps and everything, streaming revenues and all that. Like, come
yeah.
on
I
now.
don't know. I just like I I'm too lazy to watch things. That might be it. If it's not on Netflix or something
Mm,
or
I see.
Hulu,
Or if it's on IWTV,
well, hey, wait? What was the last one? That
IWTV.
like no, I'm saying like what was the last show that was on there that you were
Uh, are you throwing shade? I'm trying to remember. I don't
no,
remember the
I'm
last.
not throwing shade.
I'm trying to think. I'm thinking of what the last show it was. It's on IWTV. I
Was it
know Invictus was
active?
supposed to be, but Invictus got snowed out. I think Wrestlers Lab is soon. Wrestlers
Yeah.
Lab is coming out in 2 days, so that's one.
Hi, MJ.
Hey, is
So
you're
Zoom
back.
Zoom hates me right now.
We were on. So we finished favorite TV show. So this is your question because you had this.
Okay. So yeah, because I had this question. So your name is Big Game Leroy. So I just want to know, give me your favorite game of like all time.
Oh man, y'all hit me with the hard questions. I grew up loving Smash Brothers Melee, so I think that's definitely got to be up there. I play a ton of Smash Ultimate. It's easily my most played Switch game. I think I'm in like the tens of thousands of hours put in. I gotta look at my Switch, but it's a lot of hours I put into that game.
Oh, okay,
Um,
so you're a Nintendo person.
yeah, I've messed around with PlayStation. I got a PS4 at home. I've had a PS3, PS2, but
Mhm.
it's Nintendo and Sony up in here. We don't mess with Xbox.
Oh, okay.
Shade meant to be thrown. We don't play Xbox around here.
I don't know
So,
nothing about nothing.
so are you copping GTA 6?
Oh, of course, of course. I mean, it's taken like them like 15 years to get over GTA 5, so it's about time. So yeah, I feel like I gotta support it, right? That's the only way
Yeah.
they'll move forward and make new games.
And
Okay.
there's one more icebreaker question. Mia, did you want to ask this one?
Yes. What is your favorite meal? It could be a cheat meal. It could be just in general.
Ooh, I mean, I'll just say what I'm craving. There's this vegan spot not too far from where I live called Toad Style, and they make these really awesome vegan California burritos with it has like avocado, I think it's like cashew cheese and like jackfruit. And it's really, really, really good, and it's so satisfying, and also it just doesn't bloat me or anything like that. So I really mess with it.
I like that.
Nice, nice.
Sounds
Yeah,
different.
yeah, I'm a little different.
Okay, so let's get into the good stuff. Let's do this. So, take us through your journey of pro wrestling. Like, how did you get into wrestling? Where did you train, and what was that experience like?
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I mean, pretty obvious. I mean, I was a huge fan of wrestling growing up, and unlike most kids who probably care about being cool or something, I never grew out of it. And I probably should have, but I didn't. And I always thought to myself it might be cool to do it, but I never actually thought I'd be like talented enough or like I don't know. Like I never thought pro wrestling could be for me. So I was like, okay, if I do it, I try it. At least I get out of my system, and maybe I won't be so terrible at it. And worst case scenario, I'm terrible at it and then I can move on with my life. Best case scenario, I'm good at it and maybe I get to make it or something like that. Turns out I was terrible at it, but I fell in love with it, so it didn't matter. And I kept working at it and working at it. And now I think I'm in a place where, I think I'm halfway decent or something like that.
I I can vouch and say yes.
Yes, yes, you've seen me for too many years. So of course I trained out of the House of Glory Wrestling School. I started there in I think the summer of 2014, which is kind of nuts to me because like this is in some years now. Like it feels like yesterday, but we in some years. And I will say that I started wrestling consistently, I think after my second year of training there. I was popping up on shows pretty quickly after I started like training, but I started wrestling like I think within my second year, and I've been wrestling pretty consistently since then. So I tell people usually I've been wrestling for about 6 years.
MJ.
Okay, so question from me. What was it like to have your first match?
Oh, it was super, super nerve-wracking. It's like this weird thing of like super exciting, but super anxiety-inducing. It's like, think about like being anxious for this big test or, going to prom, combining it all together and like just this ball of excitement and anxiety. It's like, I couldn't wait I couldn't wait to wrestle, but I also like, the weight was killing me. So but it was super exciting. I remember my first match pretty vividly. My debut was really really cool. It was kind of like a surprise for the show, and like it was just like, hey, Leroy's wrestling, and I always think to myself like that is the most Leroy way to appear sometimes. Like, hey, Leroy's there, cool. Oh, Leroy match, awesome. It happens all the time in the indies now, and I think that my debut like that is very fitting. There was no red carpet, there was no vignettes, there was no coming soon. It was just, hey, here's Leroy. He might be good. Oh, you like him? Cool. You might see more of him. And I like that that's been the trajectory of my career.
What or who is Big Game Leroy? Like, what helped you become Big Game Leroy?
Wow, it's been a journey to that, huh? It's kind of wild to me because when I was training, and I mean, I'm sure maybe you can relate to this a little bit. I was always kind of this nerdy, quirky guy in the ring, no matter what. And I think that's something I was told early on was, hey, anything you have that makes you different, hold on to it, cling to it, and do your best to stand out because everybody can run those ropes, anybody can jump off the top rope, anybody can throw a clothesline, but it's really you who makes what you do special, you know? And it's like, so what's special about Leroy? And I was like, well, I'm into some anime, I'm into some nerdy stuff, and I'm very over the top, very expressive, very dorky, and all that stuff. And I was like, let me, as a lot of wrestlers say, and I can't kind of steal this phrase, I just dialed it up and I made it even more. And, I really got into games. Obviously, me and my buddies would play a lot of video games, and it's crazy. It was one night I was actually playing with some of my friends and I'm destroying all the boss battles in the Resident Evil 2 remake. And after a while, they're just like, oh, give the controller to Big Game Leroy. It's time. It's go time. It's boss battle time. And once I heard that name, it's kind of stuck with me, and I was like, I could do this, and then I started to come out, I came out to Big Game Leroy, did the whole name change. It was a lot of fun. A lot of people really dug it. It's very strong, very like, hey, you know who this guy, you know what he's about. He's a gamer on the sticks, he's a gamer in the ring. He's all about it. And then, of course, when I started doing my stuff with the Switch and, just can't put my game down, I think it really took on a life of its own. And people were like, oh, this is who Big Game Leroy really is.
Honestly, it's impressive. Like seeing, just like even like seeing it in person, that's impressive that, you're focusing on like two things at once. Props, props.
Master of multitasking, that's what I do.
Let's see. Oh, MJ, sorry.
You're good. So what has been your favorite match of your career so far?
That's tough. And I feel like I'm gonna hurt some feelings if I, nah, I'm kidding. But, it is tough. It is tough. I've had I have a lot of different favorite matches for different reasons. I think one of the go-to favorite matches of mine, probably, I would say, is this match that I had with Smiley at a Culture Clash. It was a casket match at House of Glory. I think it was like WrestleMania weekend 2019. That match was it was a lot of fun. It hurt. It sucked. I got power bombed on a wooden ramp. It was pretty wild, but it was a lot of fun, and I learned so much from that feud that I had with Smiley for so long, and I learned so much about myself, and I learned, it was such a big period of growth that I think that match was like the culmination of a lot of growth for me, and I'm like, yes. Besides that, there's some cool places I've gotten to wrestle and some cool opponents I've gotten to wrestle. Like anytime I get to, be in a ring with Michael is a lot of fun, or I guess in our case, anytime we're in a no ring is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of fun wrestling Hot Dog. Like, obviously I've wrestled guys like Danhausen and, some pretty big names. I wrestled Killian, Calix, and those are all fun in different ways. There was this one match that I had with, a Pinky Sanchez in, I think it was Polyam Brooklyn. I think it was the first Polyam show in Brooklyn I don't want to say the height of the pandemic because I feel like it's always fluctuating, but we had this match and, we absolutely zero of, I mean, I don't know if I'm breaking any rules or whatever, but like none of the match was called. And that's why it's one of my favorite matches. We didn't call anything.
I mean,
We just walked out there and wrestled.
I feel like that makes like, a match special. I know there's like a debate, like, oh, should you call it before? Should you call it in? Like,
Yeah, no, I mean, that's whatever, but I think I think, you can have a little bit of both, but I think it's crazy that we literally had nothing called and it was just so much fun because like we're just both just talking and I just literally just give him a Saito, he gives me a German, we're just going at it. It's a lot of fun.
I mean, hey, whatever helps you, you know what I'm saying? Like, people have the debate, but if it ends up a good match, why complain?
Yeah, I mean the people there were happy and that's who I wrestle for. Those are the people who pay for the tickets and buy my merch and cheer for me. So as long as they're happy, I'm happy.
Exactly. Uh, what is it like to help and teach like a new generation of wrestlers through training at T2T?
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know this would come up. It's wild. Nice plug, nice plug. it's really wild and humbling. So I was already like, I would come down to train and I would help out whenever like I was there. But I think last fall, obviously, like, there was a lot of the trainers, MV and Brother Greatness, they ended up moving and or situations changed. So they really needed someone to step up and help Logan Black. And so for me, it was just really cool. Cause at first I was like, nah, I don't even want credit. I don't want anything. Like I don't want no announcement. I'm good. I'll just help. And then eventually I started falling in love with it. And I was like, oh, I really enjoy teaching and helping. It's really cool. And, I didn't really know I had anything to offer because I'm just 25. I'm not even in like the prime of my wrestling career. And, I still feel like that 17-year-old kid who just wanted to be a wrestler and stuff. So, it's really cool to be like, oh no, I've actually, wrestled a lot of really dope names. I've been under the learning tree of some really, really smart dudes, and like, I can take the advice that I've gotten from obviously the Amazing Red, from Johnny Gargano, from Tommaso Ciampa, from Gabe Sapolsky, from, the rep, from all these people that I've worked with and wrestled with and shared locker rooms with for years and just be like, hey, this is what I've learned. You can take it or leave it, but they just, given me a great deal of success. And, it's also just reignited my love of wrestling just on the most basic level. It's easy to love wrestling when it's good to you, but you gotta love the work. You gotta love the work.
I deem you like my unofficial, like official, unofficial like coach because I'm always like, Leroy, I have a question. Leroy, guess what?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I gotta start charging you or something,
Oh no, wait. I take that back. I take that back.
Nah, it's cool. I like helping because it's like I didn't really, I was a really anxious person and I still am to an extent. I'm not really good at asking for help. And I think it's so cool when people just go, hey, I'm just gonna ask for help. And it's like, yeah, let me help you. I think it says that it shows that you love wrestling and like how, like I could never, like if you love wrestling the same way as me and you want to get better at it, like I can only want to help somebody like that, like no matter what.
Well, I mean, your help is always appreciated over here. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Um,
Thank you.
MJ.
So, do you have any advice for people thinking about or currently training to be a wrestler?
I got plenty of advice. Some of it is nice and some of it is a little hard. My thing is, and when I say hard, I mean it's really tough. Being a pro wrestler is a very difficult thing to do, physically, but also like emotionally draining. And I think a lot of people are surprised at the emotional part. They just think I'm physically just landing in my body and injuries, and it's a sport. It's an active activity. um, but I think the emotional aspect of wanting to get good, the improvement and the barriers that sometimes can stop you and hinder your progress, the frustrations of a bad training day, like that stuff really weighs on you. There were days where I would like limp my way to my house, from wrestling training because I was so banged up. And then there were some days where I'd be perfectly fine, but mentally I was just so frustrated by the day of training I had, it's a mix of both. But my thing is, if you love wrestling and if you truly love the art form, and if you, at least this has worked for me, when you think about less of like, oh, what can wrestling give me? Can it give me more followers? Can it give me money down the line? Can it give me TV? Can it give me this or that? And you think about what can I do for this industry that I love? How can I make it better? How can I add to it? Then it becomes so much easier to push forward. I started off very like, hey, I'm just going to do this, and if I suck, I suck. If I'm good, I'm good. And once I started getting better, I was like, okay, I can add to this. I can really maybe make a difference down the line, and like, how can I continuously do that every day? That's part of the reason why I started helping out at TTT because it's like, oh, now I directly get to help directly.
I appreciate that because I'm currently training right now, so I'm looking for any.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's awesome. It's hard. It's hard, but like, you just keep grinding. And I mean, you ask questions. I think social media is beautiful and there's so much stuff, so many resources now. Obviously you could just, the WWE has resources there. Like they have all their performance center workouts and stuff there, the Instagrams, the fitness pages. It's just a matter of figuring out what works for you. I think there's no universal, this is how you be a good pro wrestler. It's about what works for you. And sometimes it's just good to take a lot of information from all over the place.
I mean, I appreciate you bringing up that like it's not just like a physical thing, that it can also
Right.
be like an emotional and like because I've already had my days where I'm like I feel like I'm forcing myself to go to training just because I am not feeling it and stuff like that, but I still go anyways, and like of course the physical stuff I've had those days too, but it's a good thing to highlight that there's both.
Like
So
my
Yeah.
Yeah.
My
No,
first
absolutely.
day, oh my God, I thought I was going to make it, but I did, and I'm still going. So,
Oh yeah, hell yeah. No, just it's always good. Just protect your mental health. Make sure that you're always like taking it in stride and like, sometimes wrestling can be a beautiful escape and sometimes it can be the thing that gets you lost in the sauce in the first place, it's very overwhelming sometimes, and I think that having a healthy work-life balance, I had to learn the hard way because I spent my first 2 years in wrestling just really training to wrestle. I didn't really have anything else going on in my life, and I kind of threw myself into wrestling. I was there 2, 3 times a week, every week from like 3 o'clock till Red was kicking us out at 11 o'clock. I wasn't eating, I wasn't whatever, I was just trying to be a pro wrestler. And I can look back and be like, yeah, that probably wasn't the most healthiest relationship with wrestling. I'm grateful for it because it maybe made me a good wrestler or something, but it's also like, hey, there's other ways to do it, and I think that, you know, I think the newer way of like, hey, I'm here to, other people are here to support you, get your advice, get your whatevers, and then have your 3, 4 hours in the ring is much better than just being in the ring for almost 8 hours.
Let's see. I'm gonna go over that one, and then looking at where you were when you first started and where you are now. How does it make you feel? You know.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I mean, you probably can guess a little bit because it's like even like from years ago, it's like so wild to see old pictures of myself. There was this Instagram story that it said, "Oh, no cheating, but post a picture of yourself when you're 18." So I found my first ever not promo picture because I didn't have promo pictures back then, but I found my first picture of me about to have like a practice, a match that I think it was my first match that ever aired on like YouTube or whatever, and my gear was like this weird orange and blue tatter thingy that doesn't even match my cash flow shirt. I'm like super scrawny. I had no chest hair or facial hair or whatever. My hair is super short and not curly at all. It was wild, and I'm just like, wow, like I had no clue that I would ever get this far or that it would be like this. And that's both really crazy to me, but also really cool because it's like, you know, uh, life is wild, life is cool. I never thought like that I'd be able to do the things that I've been able to do at the age that I've been able to do it at. I've been wrestling since I was 17 and I'm 25 now, and I've had some success that some people don't get their whole careers, and I'm just trying to be grateful and humbled by that.
MJ, got the last question.
so the last question I have for you is, what are you looking to accomplish in 2022? And is there anyone you want to face this year or a promotion you want to wrestle in?
These are always good questions. I like goals. At T2T, we actually recently did this thing where we all wrote down our goals and stuff. And it was really good for me too, because I realized I haven't really written down my goals in a long time. Like, not that I wasn't like shooting for goals, but in terms of writing them down and really like going like, hey, this is what I want to do. In the short term, it's just, debuting for some new states and traveling to some new places. Indianapolis is a little bit of a bummer because I was one of the new states, one of the new things, but it'll happen. We'll make it up. It'll happen. So I'm confident that'll happen. The West Coast is a big goal of mine. I really want to travel to the West Coast. I really want to wrestle on the West Coast. There's so many cool promotions there, especially in Vegas and California. So, that's really cool. Um, in terms of people I want to face, I think at this point, the very top of my list has to be Trisha Dora.
Oh,
She's an
wow.
absolute queen. And I'm very grateful that I've been able to share as many locker rooms as I have with her. But, homegirl got a world title now, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And, I got a, an Invictus social media title, but, that's a recognized world title for our people. And I'm kind of sitting here like, I don't know, like, I think I could rock that title pretty nice too.
I mean,
you
two
know,
belts, two belts.
yeah,
Oh,
two belt Leroy. I don't know. No, I'm not gonna do that. Like everybody says that. Everybody says that. But no, it would be like I would love to wrestle Trisha Dora. A singles match with Eel O'Neill would also be really really awesome. I'm still trying to wrestle Michael MV in the ring.
yeah.
We've wrestled like 3 times in no ring death matches, and I'm just like, okay, but can we get in a ring with ropes and stuff like that and really go at it and really, you know, really show some people something because it's very well documented how much good friends we are, and I think that there's a real awesome story we could tell with that. Really, make some people cry or something.
I mean, I still want that match with you and Martyr. I want to see them
Same.
because I'm
Same.
sad it got canceled, but I want to.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, Mia Martyr, like, that's what that one's gonna happen. The fact that it keeps getting canceled proves that the universe is like, oh, that match happens, scorched earth, hell,
Yeah,
freeze over, pigs gonna start flying. It's gonna be wild, because people ain't ready for it. The hot take, and I don't care if Martyr sees this, you can clip this, you can send it to him. He ain't ready for me on the mat. He think he a crazy mat wrestler. When the switch goes down, I can hold my own on the mat too.
look, you
I
tell
just
him.
not to. Imagine what happens when I try.
Ooh,
He ain't ready.
ooh. Well,
Clip it, send it to him. I don't care.
well,
Hmm.
you heard it here. Well, I mean, that was all of our questions, and it was just really good talking to you. It's
Yeah, it
been a
was great.
while.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's been great. I'm so used to seeing you at these underground, no location disclosed IWW shows. So it's great to see you even if virtual form.
Shout out to IWW. Hey.
It
Yes,
was
yes.
nice meeting you though and talking to you.
Yes, it was great talking to you and nice meeting you, MJ. It's awesome.
Thank you for being our first guest. I like you're the first person that popped up in my mind. I was like, gotta
Oh,
get Leroy, gotta get Leroy.
no, that's awesome. Like, no, and you're good peoples. Known you for years, and you've always been respectful and awesome and supporting. And I gotta give back, and I gotta help my peoples. We help each other grow, and that's how we make this industry better. That's how we make this world better. Not to get too corny and whatever.
um, is there any social medias or anything that people can follow you on?
Oh, there's a lot. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and I make it easy, both the same, at Big Game Leroy. Currently, until I change it, you can still buy my merch at prowrestlingtees.com/5 Big Game Leroy. For now. No shade. You can also go over to fullygimmick.com, and they have a ton of awesome merch. So please go over there and get a lot of my merch. They have video games and stuff like that, and Kawaii anime Leroy shirts. So please support them because they're great. Um, I don't really do Tumblr, Facebook. Mark Zuckerberg will not let me change my name to Big Game Leroy, so it is still Leroy Green, but I don't really post on Facebook like that. And that's pretty much where you can find me.
All right. Well, thank you. It was
Yeah.
it was just nice talking to you.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you for having me on.